The lawsuits should be skyrocketing at this point. I don't understand why they aren't.
It's physical threats that go on. All I can say is get your vaccines now, America.
I don't even know what to say. We're talking about RFK Jr., who's like, he definitely is an anti-vaxxer.
I'm not going to take away anybody's vaccine. If people are happy with their vaccines, they ought to be able to get them.
Get you some of these Doe shirts. We got Doe shirts, hoodies, and also a hat. They're gonna bring it up to me in a minute. They do my samples, so they'll bring me the hat. But this Doe's go hard, man. It's time that we show the world that the Democrats are getting exposed. This is what it should have been when they titled it. It should have been Democrats officially getting exposed, because they slush funding us to death. All the links will be in the description section. Then let's move forward. Nobody should have a problem with us trying to figure out, how do we get our food safer? How do we make sure medicine isn't killing us? How do we hold pharmaceutical companies accountable to be transparent and also accountable to research in the products that they produce to the public? Vaccinations aren't just an end-all be-all. Why can't we have evidence-based research that proves that these things are not harmful to our children? Who would be mad at that? I don't even get it. Who would be upset with that idea? Every American should say, I think I can rock with that. But they can't. They have to act as if it's the end of the world and that, it's a threat to democracy to do the very thing that they lie to their constituency that they want to do, that they have never attempted a day in their lives. I want to go to some more clips because Joy Behar on the Ver, she do something very similar. And RFK is going to rebut some of what she said. The lawsuits should be skyrocketing at this point. I don't understand why they aren't. Roll the clip.
Two of Trump's most controversial cabinet nominees were confirmed. Tulsi Gabbard is our new director of national intelligence, and RFK Jr. is the head of Health and Human Services. There was only one GOP senator who voted no, the soon-to-be-retired Mitch McConnell, the man who got us into this mess. He stole a Supreme Court seat from Obama, voted to acquit Trump after the insurrection, and even endorsed him for president again. Thanks for nothing, Mitch. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. So, ladies, what do you think of these confirmations?
I'm really nervous, about the whole kit and caboodle, but RFK Jr. is scary to me because a lot of the things we've talked about vaccinations, but we're also seeing a huge upticks of some health problems. We've had measles outbreaks in Texas, at least 22 children, 2 adults affected. The flu levels in the U.S. are higher than they've been in 15 years. And I have to believe some of that comes from the COVID vaccine being politicized and then people holding back on all vaccines, because flu vaccines are also down almost by half among kids. Yeah. And Bill Gates was here and he warned us we'll have another pandemic. And I remember asking him during commercial, what happened to the once in a lifetime pandemic? Because I thought we could check that box off. And he was like, no, because there's a lot of things happening in regard to environmentally, people being more in touch in certain areas of the world with animals, which is where these viruses come from. And then he went on to say, and there's a high chance of bioterrorism. So he's like, there's a 10% chance in the next 4 years we could do 2020 all over again. So I think that's the part that's getting me is, the pandemic leading into an RFK Jr., leading into all the numbers we're seeing. That's where I'm kind of concerned right now.
Hold on a second. She said Bill Gates. Bill Gates is not qualified. He's not a virologist. Bill Gates does not have any education in health and none of that stuff. So why does his opinion matter? He is no different than, well, I think he's less informed. Look at his physique. Look at Bill Gates' physique and look at RFK's physique. You tell me who's probably a little more privy to what's healthy and what's not healthy. So they can bash RFK, who's an exemplary example of health and fitness as a 60-year-old man. I don't know how old he is. He still got a six-pack. They bash him, but they let a billionaire, unelected bureaucrat, or whatever you want to call him, that is not healthy whatsoever, and marriage not healthy either, because I think she left him. All of that, but he got credentials, but RFK don't have credentials. And they've been in office for a month. They've been in office for not even a month yet. And all of a sudden, every outbreak, every disease, everything that has ever happened is all their fault. And then they want to blame RFK and others for saying that people are hesitant to take vaccinations and stuff. No, because people are doing their research. People are getting injured. People are realizing it has no effect on them. It's not good for them. It's not healthy for them. That's why they're making the decision. Everybody don't listen to RFK. People are making this decision on their own because they realize how y'all tricked, lied us, trying to sell us hot chips and Cheetos in order to get vaccinated. Put it back on the screen. Roll these idiots again.
Tulsi Gabbard.
Well, look, both of them, and I think you can put Kash Patel and Hegseth into this basket as well, because there have been people that Trump has nominated that have gotten bipartisan support, like Marco Rubio, who got 99 votes. Yeah. You can disagree with him on policy, but you can't disagree that he's not qualified. And I think Tulsi Gabbard, RFK, Hegseth, Kash Patel, there's two things that I would look for, that I would hope would be in our government leaders. One is a fitness of character, a moral compass, and also qualifications, managerial experience, academic experience in their field. Yeah. These people have neither. Right. They're not morally fit to serve in that role, and they don't have any managerial experience or experience in that field.
Why do you think Trump picked them?
Because they're loyal. No, because there is one qualification that Donald Trump requires. Loyalty to him. 100%.
Which is not ever reciprocated, by the way.
So one pick who was confirmed that wasn't controversial and was nearly unanimously supported with a lot of bipartisan support was Brooke Rollins, who was a colleague of mine, has a deep background in policy and is going to be the Secretary of Agriculture. That's a good one. I'm great with it. I supported Marco Rubio being. RFK is somebody I have a hard time understanding how conservatives came around to. He's somebody who has a lifelong record of much more liberal positions, but also dangerous public health positions. But Tulsi Gabbard, I have warned about from the outset. This is a woman who, the most charitable thing I could say is she lacked the judgment to not amplify Russian propaganda. She repeatedly shared things that were very explicitly Russian propaganda. Throughout her confirmation hearing, Russia Today, state media in the Kremlin, was supporting her and endorsing her. Edward Snowden, who I continue to be a traitor to this country, was actively supporting her on social media. Now, I talked to a four-star general and expressed my concerns about her overseeing our national intelligence apparatus. He did assure me that these, whether it's the CIA, ODNI, or the DIA, they are actually built in case a director gets in place that is dangerous and against the U.S.'s mission, and they can be compartmentalized out of information as to not potentially expose things to danger. That said, it is going to have impacts on our allies sharing intelligence with us. It simply will. And
what about her relationship with Assad? That was suspicious.
And as a Syrian American, we will never forgive her for showing up there when after he had gassed his own people and trying to basically whitewash his record. But that's not good. And at this critical moment with the Ukraine and Russia war, she is not the person I would want.
How do you think RFK is going to handle bird flu? Just run over the chickens and cook them, or what? What is he going to do?
Leave them in Central Park.
I don't even know what to say. Like, we in trouble. Like, this is bad. Like, it's just, I usually have something to say. I don't even know what to say. We're talking about RFK Jr., who's he definitely is an anti-vaxxer, being responsible for a $1.7 trillion agency. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I'm most concerned about are those that are most vulnerable in our country, children and the elderly. Right. We know very well that the Republicans want to cut Medicare and Medicaid. Medicaid at this point, if it's scaled back, it's given 22 million Americans access to health care. Nearly 80 million Americans are enrolled in Medicaid. They're targeting the Affordable Care Act. The people that need health care the most are going to be affected. I'm just so disgusted and devastated. We are in trouble.
Yeah,
we are in trouble.
It's so sad, frankly.
Yeah.
To see Republicans who know better. Because Tom Tillis, who is a medical doctor, knows better. Cassidy knows better. You know he knows better.
Well, he denied, though, being an anti-vaxxer.
Well, yeah, but they all go on the conference. But they know.
RFK did.
These last-minute denials and last-minute conversions are very, very suspicious. And you don't give the leadership of an agency like that to somebody who converts at the last minute while the website he was running was still selling anti-vax merchandise. But, why was Mitch McConnell able to do it now? Because now he has no fear of retribution from Donald Trump, right?
Yeah.
Whereas everybody else is terrified of him and towing the line.
Somebody said that they were afraid for their lives and also for the lives of their children and their wives. It's not just not being reelected.
Wow. Yeah.
It's physical threats that go on. All I can say is get your vaccines now, America.
Let's go to RFK's clip. Go to RFK's clip. I'm tired of hearing these loony pins talk. From his mouth. Roll it.
I'm going to be a disruptor. I'm not going to let the food industry and the pharmaceutical industry run health policy anymore. I'm not going to take away anybody's vaccine. If people are happy with their vaccines, they ought to be able to get them. What we're going to do is give people good science.
So I guess in this clip, he mentions that he's not going to take away vaccines. If you look at any of RFK's work, you would notice, or if you listen to anything he said, he's not against people making the decision on their own to take vaccines. He's not against the government allowing people to take vaccines or none of that stuff. He's saying we should be able to track whether people are getting injured so people can make a conscious decision, because there's correlating things that are occurring at the same time when it comes to people having autism, people having, some appear to be vaccine injuries. He believed he was vaccine injured, but we don't have a system that can be transparent about how many of these occurrences are happening. So people are blindly getting vaccinated and people are getting injured. There's a lot of anecdotal stories out there, but nobody can compile the evidence together to hold them accountable. That's all he's saying. But see, they smear the man because they can't defeat the man on the premise of what he's saying, so they smear him. There was a clip that I put, Nick, I think in the chat that I want you to put out here. But it's a guy his name is Jay Carson, and he was a Clinton advisor, and he had mentioned that when these advisors and people that are staffers that work for campaigns, when they're done with the campaign, most corporations hire them to work, and he was articulating that they have a strategy on how they dismantle candidates and how they ruin their reputation. And RFK specifically, they brought up in this article of how they've been trying to destroy the character, reputation, call him a racist, call him a liar, call him an anti-Semite. There's a strategy incrementally that they deploy to destroy somebody whom they disagree with. Not whom is bad for the country, but whom they disagree with. And I want to play this clip for you guys because I think it's so fitting for this topic right here, because we think it's by chance, not we, because we smart. Y'all smart. I don't know about your auntie and them, but some people think, the ones who are lacking wisdom, think that all of a sudden they've now found evidence that this person is a racist. Or this person somehow did this. All of a sudden somebody's claiming that this person touched them 45 years ago. Oh, it's all of a sudden. No. It's a strategy. They try this. When it don't work, they go further. When it don't work, they go further. Most people quit right here. Most people can't take it. Most people family can't take it. Most people bank account can't take it. They quit right here. When you persevere here, then they go to other stuff that's far more extreme. Then they go to other stuff. You name it, they do it. Here's the clip. I think this is the clip. Y'all bear with me if it's not. We tried to do this at the last minute, so roll it right here.
Generally happens with people like me is when we're done with the trench warfare of campaigns, which is low paying and grueling work. Big corporations hire people like me to come inside and implement the playbook. And here's the way the playbook works. First, they attack you broadly and they question your facts. They say you're lying and it's ferocious. But if you keep on moving after that, they move on to character assassination. They take on who you are as a person. They dig up everything bad in your past and leak it to the press. If you had a fender bender, you're a reckless driver. If you paid a bill late, you're a deadbeat, and so on and so on. Every part of your life goes under their microscope. They try to embarrass you. They try to make you say this fight isn't worth what it's costing me, and you quit. But if that doesn't stop you, and it stops most people, but it didn't stop Bobby, they say you're a liar. If liar doesn't work, they say you're an anti-Semite and a racist. Crazy or kook or crank or nut job are their mainstays. That's their nuclear option. Because if they can get everyone to dismiss you as a wacko nut job, everything you say is suspect. If all the publications and TV shows you trust tell you someone's a crazy person, they must be a crazy person, right? This is New York Magazine in 1995. This is New York Magazine in 2023. This is Vanity Fair in 2006. This is Vanity Fair in 2023. This is Rolling Stone in 1992. This is Rolling Stone in 2023.
That was a great little piece, wasn't it? But that's what they do. Donald Trump, they loved him. He was the man, right? You know, he had some naysayers here and there. All the people in the NFL, NBA, celebrities, they all love Trump. They go into Trump hotels. They want to be like Trump. They rap about Trump. They doing everything with Trump. And all of a sudden, when he tried to run for president, all of a sudden you start hearing things come out like, oh, he's a racist. Well, wait a minute. Where did that come from? He's never been. Oh, his dad had this deal and then they don't talk about his dad. They talk about he inappropriately, discriminated against blacks in his hotels. It was really his dad. He kind of came up through that situation that occurred. He wasn't the one that implemented the policy. Then all of a sudden that come up. Donald Trump got an award in 1997, I think, the Rainbow Push Coalition, right along with Rosa Parks. He was honored. Like, it's a picture of him and Rosa Parks together, being honored. I remember Jesse Jackson come out and say Donald Trump is getting an award for his efforts in the inner city community. Like, they literally gave the man awards. Black people, the same black people that say he's a racist. Then they say Central Park 5 actually was 4 because the 5th one didn't even go to jail. It actually was 4 of them. I read the article Donald Trump pulled out in the newspaper, and it had nothing to do with Central Park 5. He didn't even mention them. But today, people on TV saying he ordered the death of them and all kind of crazy. He took a hit piece out in the newspaper to threaten them. I read it. You can go read it now. Put some money on it. None of it had anything to do with Central Park 5. Didn't even mention them one time by name or even by association. Ruined the man character. Russia collusion. False. Say he raped women. Touching people. Woman come out of nowhere 40 years later. Oh, yeah, in a hotel, in a changing room at I don't know, at Macy's. I don't believe that woman. She didn't say nothing all this time. Now all of a sudden I'm a victim. The one lady that's a kook, she writes a book and get rich off of making a claim against Donald Trump. It's unsubstantiated. Tulsi Gabbard, they loved her. She was a Democrat. RFK, they loved him. He was a Democrat. All these people they love, they were Democrats. And when you turn against their God, which is the God of misinformation and lies and deception, then they turn on you.